I guess you had to be there.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies, to two very tired people and a big damn quest. I'm Big Damn Quiz.
I'm Big Damn What?
And we're here to talk about the thing that kept us up all night, if you know what I'm saying. Wonder Woman.
Diarrhea. No.
Oh, that's... Oh. Should have warned me. I would have put plastic sheeting down before we started recording.
Yeah, we're on the sofa for the first time in what feels like forever.
It's forever.
Usually in your eating space.
Yeah. I think we've recorded a total of maybe 10% of the episodes we've made on your couch. About 2% in this room. And a good 4,085% in the kitchen.
Ah, yeah, but we also did a chunk not together.
My God, you're right.
Where I was sat at my lovely computer desk.
And I was sat at a desk where the lady whose place I was renting kept moving all the stuff around when she was cleaning the room while I was out of it in Lincoln.
And the internet went down, so we had to call each other.
Yay!
and do the podcast over the phone. And then I had to edit the local recordings together.
Because you're a wonderful man.
And we're going to be doing that again later this year.
We are, yeah. You are a wonderful man. But not a wonderful woman.
Woman? A wonderful woman?
We saw Wonder Woman. We're going to talk about it. Non-spoilers and then some spoilers. But first, we've got a couple other topics to touch on.
We have got a couple of other topics to touch on.
Dirty that.
I'm going to... you have seen...
many things in my life.
You've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge.
How dare you!
Dead Men Tell No Tales,
Much
depending
better.
on what part of the world you live in.
Yeah.
So you'll touch on that, much to my chagrin. And
I will touch on my bow.
But first,
my starboard shall be ported.
No more nautical things, thank you very much.
But back to naughty things.
Naughty things. You finally started watching American Gods.
I have.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
I have. It's so good. We won't go too spoilery, but put it this way: if you want to watch it, you've already started watching it. So
yeah, we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes. So if you don't want to get spoiled for those, then go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. Just go and watch it.
You don't have Amazon Prime? Tough titty.
You'll find a way.
How dare you, sir? How dare you suggest that our listeners are the sort of blackguards, vagabonds, and ragamuffins that would seek out alternate means of streaming
We're
their
not talking about
entertainment?
pirates yet. That's the next topic.
So that was a semi-segue.
Oh, I'm a little semi right now.
I'm always semi, unlike the Djinn in episode 3 of American Gods.
It's just
raging boner.
Oh my days.
So, American Gods, just a very brief recap for those who weren't listening a couple of weeks back, is a novel by Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman, yeah.
Which has been adapted into a TV series for the Starz Network and Amazon, the UK distribution.
Yeah.
It's going to be 8 episodes?
I believe so, yeah.
Good length. Again.
Oh no, I can't even! No,
Again.
No more jokes about length, girth, width, anything. Just, yeah, it's good length. And they're probably going to do about, I think they said they're going to do 3, maybe 4 seasons to do the book.
That's fine. I could dig that. Like, especially if it's the usual sort of Amazon turnout rate, which is usually less than a year. It's like sort of every 10 months.
Well, it depends what Stars, because Stars are producing it. Amazon are just
distributing it for the United Kingdom.
Yeah. But
it's the story of Shadow Moon, who's just lost his wife, so he's let out of prison early to deal with it, and deal with the affairs and attend the funeral. Along the way, he meets a bloke who ends up going by the name Mr. Wednesday, who offers him a job of basically being his bodyguard, being my man, giggity. For $2,000 a week, no questions asked. If he feels remotely uncomfortable or feels like I could get him back into jail, he can quit at any time. Unless, of course, he can be talked round, which we witness at least once in the first 3 episodes. Yeah. Along the way, it's clear Mr. Wednesday's trying to meet up with a bunch of people around something very important, leaving Shadow mostly in the shade about it all, whilst a bunch of creepy, weird, supernatural beings keep trying to get in touch with Shadow to say, why's he got you working for him? Come work for me. No? Alright, we'll kill you then. And Shadow's been having no answers thrown at him, at least by episode 3. Not a single frickin' answer has come his way.
No.
But it's not done in a way where the show's going, questions. We know you just want questions. Questions are good, right? Questions keep you watching. No, it's like, no, I can see that they're going to answer it, just not right now. And we're completely joining the story with him.
We're going to get there.
Yeah. My favourite thing so far is the openings.
Yes, there's
I'm
somewhere
only
in America.
3 in, but yeah.
And they're basically straight up adaptations of passages from the book has interludes.
Yeah.
Of somewhere in America where you do have these little flashes of, well, other gods.
Yeah.
And they're either how they came to America or their experiences in America and all that and that kind of stuff. And it's, yes.
Because episode 1's the Vikings arriving at the land and being slaughtered by the natives.
Yeah. And then slaughtering each other.
Yeah, because they have no wind, so they're praying to their god. They create an effigy that pours sand, and it's the way that they can see if the god grants the wind by the turn of the sand on the breeze.
Yep.
And they realise that erecting the statue's not enough. We're gonna have to make blood sacrifice. So they all take out an eye because it's to Odin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their approaches. They take out an eye, and it doesn't work. And then they start cutting themselves up more, and then they make a sacrifice, and it doesn't work. So they literally just start to go to war. They take 2 sides and begin to slaughter themselves.
And it's glorious.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so gloriously violent.
It's like Crazy 88's Kill Bill Part 1 style blood. It's colourful and vibrant.
Yeah.
But the violence is really freaking blunt.
Yeah. And that show does this a lot. I mean, Brian Fuller's an executive producer, and he was an exec producer on Hannibal, which is... It's a show that doesn't pull punches, so yeah, there's some of that going on.
It loves a good punch.
Hey!
Half the beans. I will say this: the opening to the second one was absolutely genius.
Which is that one? That's the Anansi one, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Spider and everything, because it was just that was the most sort of oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
I think that was the first opening to make you go. Okay, if you haven't guessed it yet, this is about gods.
Yeah.
That's not just the title of the show. This is about gods. And, because it was just amazing, that setting, so bleak and horrible and depressing. And he's basically delivering the news to them once he appears in physical form that, this is not going to get better at all. The best you can do right here and now. You're staring down the barrel of 300 years of subjugation.
Yeah.
So the best thing you could do right now is just kill every white motherfucker on board. And it's just okay, do you know what I mean? It's you're not going to change history, but you can at least go out in a blaze of glory right now.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he appears in a modern patchwork zoot suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just visually this is the most striking, random bit of, okay, they're omnipotent, they are from throughout time, it's not just about people coming and going,
And there is some serious, striking visuals in this show, straight up.
Oh God! Episode 3, the Egypt, he was essentially Anubis, wasn't he? He was taking a passage to the underworld.
Anubis, yeah.
And they got the apartment block, and they get to the roof of the apartment block, and it's just the deserts and the sands. First thing that I absolutely really really love is how this looks like a comic book, and I mean that in the nicest, in the best possible way. Every shot is composed in such a way that they're utilising the colour of every shot really well. They've not just lit a location and then, lighting it for the sake of each take at every angle. The whole thing, every single set, every single open location, everything has a colour palette.
And it's got a mood.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
It's got a definite mood.
It just looks glorious. Shadow, the way they light Shadow Moon. The character, not the concept of shadows, which isn't a concept. It's more than theory. But the way they light Shadow Moon, usually in the nighttime sequences, they light the actor's skin in a way so that he's always slightly more toward the red side.
Yeah.
He always looks a little bit red. Do you know what I mean? And Ian McShane similarly almost looks grey in the darker colours.
Do we want to talk about how great Ricky Whittle is? The Shadow.
He's fucking great.
He's awesome.
Because again, he's your ride along. He's the character who's taking you through the journey. And we're as clueless as he is at this point.
Yeah.
We've seen everything he's seen. So you don't feel like the show's trying to bamboozle you. You feel like you're learning with him.
And they've changed him a little from the book. In the book, Shadow is very calm. And he takes a lot of this stuff in his stride. And they've made him more reactionary in the show because...
I kind of get that.
Well, yeah, it's just not as interesting. If he's just calm and taking everything as it comes, then it's not it's not as interesting for the audience.
I was dealing with a lot. I mean, dealing with the death of
Yeah.
his wife and everything. Like, there's that alone would make your character riled a bit.
Yeah, too right.
Especially when he finds out like what was happening while she died, which is the most freaking. Oh my god! I didn't expect that to be where they'd go with that.
Mm.
And then just although it's tragic and really upsetting and hard to process, but it also gives some of the best visuals in the second episode when he's looking at a photo frame of a dick pic.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? So that was weird. But yeah, I know what you mean, like he has to react.
Yeah.
Because we are being welcomed into this weird and strange new world that has always existed. We've never really noticed it.
I'm being welcomed by Ian McShane.
Who
is
God.
Also wonderful.
What's your name? What day is it? Wednesday. Then I could be Wednesday. I could be Mr. Wednesday.
Today's my day.
Oh my god. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Minor spoiler alert, you've read the book.
I've read the book.
Is he the devil?
No.
Okay.
You know who he is yet?
Not yet, no. I figured early on, I was like, this seems like there's the whole devil's deal thing going on here with this character. But as it's gone on, I'm like, I don't think he is. But I wanted to outright ask y'all. Do they very heavily go at some point, this is who he is?
They've made enough, by episode 5, they've made enough references that even though they haven't already named him, you know who he is, more or less.
Okay, so I need a couple more episodes to...
I'm surprised you haven't worked it out already.
No, sorry. I wish I had.
No,
I'm trying to weigh up the options. But he's a smooth talker and everything.
Yeah.
You can tell he's because that's what made me sort of first go like, oh, is he Lucifer? Like, because he's
not Lucifer, no.
No, but he's also So then again, he's a trickster. Like, he gets by in life by fooling others and taking advantage of the situation. So is he sort of the naughty side version of religion from another?
Not quite.
Okay, we'll see. I'll watch a bit further because I was.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I was like, when I first saw the hammer in episode 2, I was like, oh, is he Thor? But of course, no. His name's Chernobog.
Oh yeah,
he's Chernobog. Like that sums it up. Which is again like based on your different mythologies, a version of the devil. But yeah.
But yeah, Chernobog calls him something that I thought you would have got.
I must have missed it. Go on, hit me. I'm gonna forget. I'll have forgotten.
Do you want to spoil it for the audience?
Well, if you listen to this, you either are not going to watch but are interested in hearing about episodes 1, 2, 3, or you haven't seen them yet. In which case, go away in 3, 2.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with a couple of things.
Go for it, and see if I can piece it together.
He's got 2 ravens.
What?
He's got 2 ravens that spy for him.
Snap! When was that?
You see him. You see him quite a bit in the background when they're doing various things, but you see more of him in episodes 4 and 5.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He keeps mentioning that he's only got one good eye.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
And Chernobog calls him Votan.
Right. Got you 1,000 times. Okay. Interesting.
Now you know who he is, don't you?
Yes. Popeye. Okay, I hadn't noticed the ravens.
They're subtle, but they're there. But you see, there's one scene in episode 5. Yeah.
Shit! Another like he says. I can sleep. I'm good at sleeping whenever I want to.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to the whole idea of the downtime of Odin? Because even I know the Odin sleep is obviously more associated with the Marvel comics, but even that came from the Norse mythology, and that Odin would sometimes go into like a hibernation.
I think maybe, yeah. There's a lot of that stuff. If you're not outright told, then you can be. Yeah, you can. They've laid plenty of hints.
Yeah.
As to the nature of who he is.
Okay. And now I'm more intrigued because I'm like, why is he the one leading this sort of?
Well, he was one of the first to come to America, wasn't he?
Fair play, which also means that the opening intro is about him.
Yes.
So, it makes sense now.
Okay. Yes.
I'm only in episode 3, so I've only seen Gillian Anderson twice. I've seen her briefly as a newscaster, and I've seen the fucking excellent I Love Lucy sequence.
Yeah. Straight from the book. It's a very, very faithful adaptation so far.
She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Again, she achieves what a few of the supporting characters so far have achieved at this point in that it's just, hi, I'm paying attention to what you're doing. What are you doing and why are you doing it for him? Alright, I guess we'll speak again soon. Goodbye. Like, that's kind of what they're all doing at the moment. Well, apart from the guy at the end of number 1 who's like, you're not giving me answers, I'm going to have you lynched.
Oh, Technical Boy's just a prick, though.
Yeah, does he come up again?
They all come up again.
Okay. Because I did feel like they were being sort of passed in and out of it.
So, without spoiling it, episode 4 is more of a flashback episode.
Yeah, I figured that from the ending of episode 3.
Episode 3 and 4 end at the same point.
Okay.
But then episode 5 makes up for that, for not having moved the story forward for a week.
Right.
By moving the story forward
significantly.
Quite a bit.
Okay.
You get a lot of payoff in episode 5.
And a lot of Gillian Anderson, from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So much Gillian Anderson.
All of the Gillian Anderson.
So much Gillian
Anderson. Does she impersonate the people she's appearing as? Because I've seen images.
Yes.
Because she was with Lucille Ball to a point. Like,
yes.
she was obviously playing it seriously, but she was affecting her accent and things like that.
She does.
So, okay. Looking forward to it now.
Oh, you should. It's fucking great.
Christ, I'm just digging it. Again, like, you get all the hyperbolic reviews that come out when a new show comes out, where they just sort of blast it like crazy. One of them did say it's the new Game of Thrones, which I have to say, well, Game of Thrones is still on, guys.
Yeah.
But if what you're saying is it's the new, this will slap everyone in the face and take the world by storm, I think the limited medium that you can view it on might not help it achieve that immediately.
I know. I think Amazon Prime is more ubiquitous now than it's been before. And both them and Netflix are producing so much original content now that people are going to those services for that original stuff.
Yeah, which is again quite refreshing.
You got loads of stuff on Amazon Prime that people like, and you've also got stuff coming down the. I mean, The Tick and Jean-Claude Van Johnson are coming down.
All three of those shows got.
Yeah, I Love Dick's already on. It's done.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I think we're getting.
We talked about those like in episode 5 or 6 or something. That is so quick that they've turned that around.
And I think we're getting The Tick and Jean-Claude Van Johnson late this year.
Hot damn.
They're shooting The Tick at the moment. About Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Is that why Sarah Finowich is slightly late with his sassy Trump videos?
Probably. Because he's too busy being.
But still doing them.
He's too busy being big and blue.
Spoon! So yeah, American Gods. If you haven't seen it already, if you don't have an Amazon Prime membership, maybe think about getting one. The entertainment's pretty good, and you can get all your books and DVDs usually like in less than a day's time, so that helps too. We're not sponsored, but if they'd like to,
yeah, we're not going to say no to an Amazon sponsorship.
That'd be amazing. You know, my brother takes advantage of that thing that they've got now. It's called Amazon Now, or whatever it is. Where you get it in 2 hours.
Yeah, and
so I think it's no extra cost if they can do it. But sometimes you have to pay like an extra £1 or £2.
Yeah.
But it's like, what a weird thought. That there are that many warehouses for them now around the country.
And
that many couriers in there.
That many underpaid couriers.
Yeah, oh well. Remember, my family is a courier, and he has an Amazon shift on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wow, okay. It's like on Saturdays, Amazon owns him and he makes about 7 or 8 runs.
Oof.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's a thing. Depending on where the runs are, though, is they can end at like, start at like 7 a.m. and end at like 10 p.m. or end at like 2 p.m. based on how far the distance is from all.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But yeah, I don't know, man. Amazon, worth it for the entertainment.
Speaking of entertainment, or lack thereof, tell me, Don Miguel, tell me of Salazar's Revenge.
So, this week saw the release of Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge, or the better title from the States, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which is a better title because it's the last line of dialogue spoken in the prologue.
That's what I was just going to ask, yeah. I've heard that that's like part of the prologue and then it cuts to the title. So, if it cuts to the title and it's not Dead Men Tell No Tales, surely that lessens the impact of that moment.
Yes. Also, Dead Men Tell No Tales isn't just a generic thing they've thrown on. A part of the villain's mythology is that no one is able to know about them because everybody who comes to them ends up dying. So the idea is that no one is finding out where they're located, where they're trapped, because no one ever makes it out alive. So it's directly referencing the whole pirates thing of like, oh, dead men tell no tales. It's like, yeah, people don't know about these fuckers and where they're being hidden because no one ever survives to tell them until Salazar starts leaving one person. Any crew they encounter, he always leaves one. So that there is always a living person to spread the legend and get them out there. Because he's trying to get a message back. So the basic premise of Dead Men Tell No Tales is... You know how the first Pirates is the only one with a coherent plot?
Yes.
This continues the tradition of the rest of them.
Oh, excellent, excellent. My favourite Pirates films, the rest of them.
Henry Turner, at the age of 11, manages to summon the Flying Dutchman to say to his father, I think I know how to break your curse. Will Turner, played by Orlando Bloom, is like, no, don't be stupid. Like, just let me be. Let me do what I need to do.
The wonderful Orlando Bloom said no one ever.
How dare you? He's excellent in extras.
And
The
Calcium Kid.
Because wasn't that around the same time as Pirates? It was one of those things that he'd made just before the first one, I think. And then it came out around the same
Lord
time.
of the Rings, I think.
Yeah, of course. I always forget that, like, Pirates was the first thing where he was like a headline name.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings, obviously.
And also the last thing where it was a headline name.
Dun, 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 dun. Orlando Bloom's like, no, leave me alone. But his son runs away from home at like the age of 11 and goes off into the world to do stuff and learn more about, specifically, Poseidon's Trident.
Oh.
Try saying that sober.
Poseidon's Trident.
You have to think about it for a second, didn't
Yeah, well, I know. I spend a lot of my time thinking about Poseidon's Trident.
you? Yeah, I bet you do.
Oh, girthy and lengthy.
Poseidon's Trident is the most significant cursed object in all of the oceans because apparently it can remove any curse. It can destroy any curse.
The mystical get out of jail free card.
Basically, it's the MacGuffin. It's the MacGuffin to end all MacGuffins. Literally. So he's in search of Poseidon's Trident, something which is lost to legend and this, that, and the other. There's no way he's ever going to be able to track it down. But whilst he's on a voyage, the ship that he's working on is attacked. He's in his early 20s now. The ship he's working on is attacked by a pirate ship near, I think it's the Devil's Triangle. And when the ship goes in, they all nearly die. Because this crew of ghostly things, people made up of what's just left of their body parts after they died. Pretty freaky looking. The effects are great on Salazar's crew. Ambush them and kill them, and then he is left alive. Because he has to tell the tale. And Salazar basically is like, I'm getting tired of this. There's one thing that can get me out. There's one object that for some reason curses them to stay there. And I need it to be separated from the person who did this to me. So go tell Captain Jack Sparrow Salazar is waiting for him, please. And you're like, what? Titles, blah, blah, blah.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
So Henry's story is basically he's got to try and get hold of Captain Jack, somehow separate him from his compass because that will release Salazar's crew, but releasing Salazar's crew is a bad option, so he doesn't have to do it, but apparently... Basically, the plot makes no sense, because Salazar gets free when Jack is destitute and trades his compass for booze. So Salazar suddenly gets free. So it has nothing to do with Henry having spoken to Salazar. But whatever. So Salazar's crew are out now looking for Jack Sparrow, because Jack Sparrow was essentially the pirate who cursed them and put them in the Devil's Triangle.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with his magical compass. I have no idea why. Meanwhile, there's a lady...
his magical compass show the way to the island in the first one?
In the first one, it's just a compass that apparently seems busted.
Yeah.
And adds to his eccentricity. Because it's like, he's using a compass that doesn't even freaking work. What's wrong with him? In the second one, you find out that the compass points to what you desire the most. So everyone was always like, why is the compass not... Like, why is he walking around with a broken compass? Like, what kind of a pirate is he? He's shit. And in the second one, you're like, oh no, like he thinks of a destination, or he thinks of a person, or he thinks of a treasure, and it points him in the direction of it. Okay. But they obviously didn't think about that in the first movie, because there's a shot where Norrington is looking at Captain Jack's compass, and he says, a compass that doesn't even point north, and it's pointing at Jack, so unless Norrington's desire is to capture the pirate, Norrington's desire is to do much more to that pirate.
Well,
Boom chicken boom.
People love that Johnny Depp in that first Pirates movie.
Oh, God. Where he should have stayed. There's a woman called Karina who is a scientist, and because of that, the town she's in thinks she's a witch. And she decides that she's going to... I think her original mission is also to find Poseidon's Trident, because she studied seafaring since she was left at the orphanage by her father.
Everyone loves Poseidon's Trident, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's because she's like, if I find it, I can sort of disprove myths and this, that, and the other. And also, the only thing I have left from my father is this notebook with notes about it. And if I can find it, then I at least did one thing for him. He must have left it to me for a reason, so I'm going to go find it. But I assure you, it's not a cursed object. It'll be an artifact of some kind. For I am a scientist.
It'll be a trinket.
Yeah. she and Henry find out they've got the same goal. They team up and escape the the British soldiers that are there that think she's a witch and he's a traitor, a mutineer from his crew because he was the only one found alive. And they run into Jack and they're like, right, you shit, you're tied into this. You're going to give us a shit. You and your crew are going to sail us away. Jack is so Jack is in a place similar to the end of On Stranger Tides. Like, he's got Gibbs and he's got a couple of the other crew from that story still, but they're using a run-down ship that they've not sailed yet on this island they've just happened to set up on for a bit because they've got nothing that they can do. They try and rob a safe from the bank in the one genuinely really well, like, an action sequence that feels like it belongs from one of the first two movies, where they try to rob the safe from the bank and instead drag the entire bank behind the horse-drawn rabble, which is bloody brilliant.
That sounds quite good.
It's the opening, like, big opening set piece after the titles, and that is great. So yeah, all that shit as usual, but they go off with them to try and find stuff. Cue the British, following them. Cue Salazar, like, getting out because the compass has been taken away from Jack, so he's tracking them down now as well. Cue Barbossa, who has the largest fleet of ships, pirate ships in the sea now, due to the end of the events of On Stranger Tides, where he got hold of all of Blackbeard's bottled fleets and also Blackbeard's sword and ship, so he's in charge of them and he can command them all. They're being taken out, so his stake in it is, right, if I help Salazar find Jack, I can go back to ruling the sea and be left alone. And it's just like, what? So many things, and there's lots of accords and parlays and fucking savvies. Actually, no, there's only one savvy in the whole movie, and it's questioned. Jack says, like, savvy to, in terms of a deal, to Henry, and Henry goes like, no savvy, very much no savvy. It's like, yay! They shat on that overused thing.
Yay!
But that means they still used it to do it. Who's the actor who plays Gibbs again? We were talking about this last night.
Kevin McNally.
Kevin McNally is great. He's very underused in this one, considering in the fourth one his part was bumped up a lot.
Yeah.
But he is great, as always. The lad who plays Henry is sort of Orlando Bloom Point 2, in that he's not brilliant and he's not like a giant swirling maelstrom of charisma. But he's fine. Like, he's not bad. He's just fine. Karina, the new female character, she was dividing a bit. Like, I watched it with two friends and my partner, and I think three of us really liked her and one didn't, which was really interesting. Like, Lucy despised her. She was like, I hate her. She's such a know-it-all. And I was like, but that was the point of her character, though. She sort of learns to open her eyes to more than just what's on the page by the end of the story. That's the point.
Yes.
But yeah, I can see why it annoyed her. But I quite like the actress. I think she was a very fiery, passionate performance. These two aren't Will and Elizabeth, which is weird, because when you look back to when the first Pirates movie came out, we were all like, oh, they're not the most charismatic duo. But then you look back at it now and you go, actually, they were part of the big reason as to why I gave a shit about the story in that first film.
Probably a bigger reason than Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, let's get to him, shall we?
Let's get to Captain Jack Sparrow.
Johnny Depp doesn't appear in this movie. Instead, they seem to have grabbed the guy from outside the Grauman's Chinese Theatre in Hollywood Boulevard, who does it for like $10 a photo, and they've put him in the film. Johnny Depp has forgotten how to play Captain Jack Sparrow. He's playing Captain Jack Sparrow the way that your dad at a dinner party tries to pretend to be him in a game of charades. It's so strange to watch. But also, they make the mistake again of making Jack the focal point of the movie. Now, in this one, to be fair, unlike Stranger Tides, in this one, Jack isn't the main character. He's one of three. But still, he's a supporting role who works best as a supporting role, like in the first movie, and arguably in the second movie.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be the focal point. But also, Jack is a bit bumbling in the original movie. But he's not an idiot. Like, everything he's doing is calculated. Sometimes he fucks up and has to just go with it. But everything he's doing is a choice. If he's playing stupid, he's doing that. He's playing stupid because he needs to for a moment. The only time he's ever not on top of it or working a deal is if he's blind drunk. That's when he's sort of not as good at it.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like, even in the first movie, like, the only time where things aren't going his way based on how he manipulates stuff is when, like, the Commodore Norrington's lot are coming toward the Black Pearl, Barbossa spots them, they're like, right, we're going to attack them, Johnny Depp. Captain Jack's like, no, don't do that, because he was about to bargain with Will. And he's like, well, if they find out Will's on that ship, my bargain's gone. And he's clearly panicking a bit. But he's not an idiot. He's a manipulator. He's very clever. He's a devious pirate.
No, but he's an idiot, though.
In this movie, he's a fucking clown. He's clown shoes.
It's a typical example of popularity ruining a good concept.
Yeah.
People don't know what they like
until they've ruined it.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man, because one of the original ideas for the Pirates franchise early on was every film will deal with a different person or a different story, and you can have elements that tie in. So, like, people enjoy Captain Jack in the first one, great, we'll give Captain Jack, like, a set piece in the second one where the characters encounter him or something like that. But they didn't do that. They carried on with the same characters.
Of course.
I'm sick of cursed pirates. I think you can do cursed pirates really well, but when the curse is practically the freaking same in every movie. Like, the first movie, stolen the Aztec gold of Cortez, and basically it means that unless all the pieces are returned and the blood repaid, they're going to be the living dead. They're going to never feel, never taste, never, they're fucked. And then the moonlight shows them for what they now are, basically dead men walking. Like, it's a great idea for a curse. Brilliantly done. Second one, we find out there's a ship, the Flying Dutchman, captained by Davy Jones, who essentially takes away seafarers who are about to die, like either their ships crash or they fall into the water or whatever, and he makes them part of his crew if they choose to. If they don't, he just kills them. And they become part of his weird underwater barnacle crew.
Yeah.
It's
some cool designs in that, but it's a bad movie. Bad pair of movies.
Yeah. Well, I think the second one's a really nice setup, but the payoff ain't worth it.
No,
the third one,
not.
so it makes the second one retroactively kind of pointless.
And they're too long.
Yeah,
they're too long.
Everyone gets a subplot. Mr. Cotton's parrot has a subplot. Fucking monkey has a subplot. Oh, that monkey's Battle of Vengeance in this one. So yeah.
You're not selling me on this movie, Christopher.
No. Like the fourth one. Blackbeard, his crew are mostly either dead people who are sort of zombies in the voodoo sense, or people who, worship him, and he can control his ship, and he captures ships and bottles them. And it's Ian McShane, so yay, but it's just another cursed crew. In this one, Salazar's lot, they all drowned or blew up in the Devil's Triangle, so now they all look like they were when they died. Which is some nice visual effects. Javier Bardem's hair is floating around him at all times like he's underwater, and it looks really good. And there's one crew member who you see caught in the explosion in the flashback, who's burned away, and it makes you realise you've been seeing him for most of the Salazar scenes, because there is one walking around that is just a pair of legs with a bit of torso, and the jaw floating in air where the jaw would be.
Ah.
Which is, again...
That's a pretty cool visual.
It's freaky, but it's just we've seen this now. We've seen the Cursed Pirates. We've done this. And obviously, spoiler alert, minor spoiler alert, Poseidon's Trident is found, and it's used. So all curses are broken. Good. End the franchise. End it here. Don't do any more. But there's a post-credits scene that teases another story. It's
they're going to make a load of money, though. If this movie does well, which it probably will...
Financially, it'll do well. Critically, it's been mostly met with a...
They're not making... Bro, I think Mare's a bit strong. From what I've heard.
I've not seen any dissections. More people just going, get out of my... If you were giving the movie a ride, you'd suddenly stop the brakes and go, get out. You can walk the rest of the way.
Get out of my cinema.
Get out of my dreams.
Get off my boat.
Yar.
Yar.
2 stars, well-made movie, some nice set pieces, but seriously, stop it now. Just end.
That's literally the most positive review I've heard of this movie.
Just end. I'm a bit of a sucker for the Pirates films in general, so I will always forgive them some things, but I was just bored, man.
You're just a bit of a sucker for the Pirates.
There's a bit where there's a random wedding subplot that lasts for 5 minutes and has no consequence on anything. There you go. That sort of sums it up. They've gone, this'll be funny, won't it?
They feel like they need to make these movies longer.
This one's the shortest one, actually. It just felt like an eternity. Because they kept adding subplot after subplot after subplot.
Wait, that never happened. Yeah, that sounds awful. I'm not going to watch that.
Well, you could spend your hard-earned cash in a different way at the cinema this week.
Let's talk about Wonder Woman!
All the world is waiting for you! In your satin tights, fighting for your right.
Let's
For
talk.
the old red, white, and blue! Wonder Woman! Boom, 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 boom,
Let's talk about Wonder Woman.
Boom, boom. Sorry. That's just, yeah.
I think there's something very, very important we need to say about Wonder Woman before we say anything else.
Yes.
And that is... It's good!
Yeah.
It's good! I'm so happy it's good!
It's good. They did it. They fucking did it. It took 4 movies, but they did it.
Oh, thank you! Thank you, movie gods!
And I say it took 4 movies. I don't mean like it took 4 movies from the same people and they finally nailed it, because we'll get more into that as we talk about the film. But just so you know, this is non-spoilers. We will do a bit of spoiler talk in a bit, but we'll give you advance warning. But it's a solid flick. Like,
yeah, give it a watch.
It's not a... Put it this way, it's not redefining the genre.
No, it's not amazing.
I don't think it's matching the levels of, say, and everyone's going to be like, oh, shills. I don't think it's matching the levels of the really good Marvel flicks.
Yeah, but it's better than like Thor: The Dark World or Iron Man 2. I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's fairly solid. Maybe it's probably on the same level as like your Ant-Man or your original Thor, maybe.
If you want DC comparisons, I'd sort of peg it around the same place as maybe Batman Begins.
But a completely different tone-wise.
Yeah, very different tone, but I mean in terms of like what you get from it. And it's obviously the most you can compare-wise because it's the story of the character's beginnings and everything.
Yeah.
That one obviously deals a lot with like, you know, thematical things and like what makes a man and what do we do with fall down, Master Wayne?
We know to pick ourselves back up.
Pick ourselves up, Master Wayne. And to illustrate the point further, here is Sean Pertwee's Alfred Pennyworth.
Oi, Master Bruce, get your ass from down there. What have I told you about being up on that roof?
It's getting really chardy or shit, Master Wayne. Wonder Woman is pretty damn solid. Directed by Patty Jenkins, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine and a bunch of other cool peeps. It's basically the story of Wonder Woman! It's the story of Diana, like from her childhood to right up to the end of her first adventure in man's world.
Diana, Princess of Themyscira, daughter of Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons.
It's pretty great.
It's really good.
If you've ever read a Wonder Woman origin story in any form, or seen like, you know, Justice League flashbacks or watched the animated movie, you have seen this story.
Yeah.
This is just the first time we're seeing it told in live action in such a big way. The same way that when you see Batman Begins, you're like, oh, I know the story of Batman, but this is just how they're telling it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know the story of Spider-Man, but this is just how they're telling it. It's the same way as that, so I can't say that it's like, it's the story we've all seen. It's like, no, not everyone's seen it. But everyone who has seen it knows the beats. They know exactly where this is going to go. It's all about watching this interpretation and seeing what they do with it. First off, best thing. Let's go for some pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Let's be nice and blunt like that.
Okay.
Give us a pro.
It is colourful.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful
Boy, is
to
it
look
colourful.
at. It's beautiful, and it's colourful where it needs to be colourful.
Yeah.
Like, when we say colourful, we don't mean the whole thing is like bright. We mean that they know how to use the colours effectively.
Yeah. So it provides contrast when you get to the front. In the war, the Great War, the war to end all wars. Oh God, to go away trailer. Because I'm on the IMDb page, so I can look up things. Yeah, it is colourful, so it can provide contrast.
Yeah.
But the opening, like what third of it? I think you reckon.
Yeah, it's good like 35, 40 minutes.
That's all on Themyscira, and it's gorgeous.
Just vast blues and greens and like the chalky white cliffs and the grey stones and the sunlight and everything. Like, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
And lots of beautiful women of all shapes, sizes, and colours.
Yes.
Dressed in leather, fighting each other. So, you know, if that does it for you, there's plenty of that.
The majority of like the superhero style like Uber warriors in this movie, like, you know, Uber fighters, are all Amazons, all Themyscirans, apart from like something to do with Danny Houston in terms of, you know, the superpowered fights.
Yeah.
But Like, it's so cool to see, like, is it her, I can't remember the character's name, but her aunt, who was, like, the chief warrior, the one who trains all the girls to fight for the inevitability that one day they will have to face war.
I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but it's Antiope?
Okay. She was amazing, and again, she looks like a grizzled, like, war-ready Amazon.
Right.
She's amazing, but, like, they've given that massive gash on her shoulder, like, the big scar and all this. And it is
Robin Wright's aged wonderfully anyway.
Well, like you were saying, it's that thing of just this big variety of, like, big, powerful, strong, beautiful women. And we don't mean that in a condescending sort of, they're all beautiful, they're all great gals. I mean, like, it's the confidence and the power of all of them is just so striking. Patty Jenkins has nailed that.
Yeah.
She's made Themyscira, because Themyscira could have been lost in translation. It could have been what is very briefly they make a joke about toward the end. The whole, like, what, an island of women? Sign me up! Like, kind of, which a lot of people go for. But even in recently as Grant Morrison's Wonder Woman Earth 1, like, he shows them as warriors, but there is a lot of just like, oh, look at them, they're all bathing, they're all having sex, and they're all having lovely times.
There's none of that, like, tweeness. They're all
hard asses.
Yeah, they're warriors.
Like, they are beauty, they are grace, but they will also cut your head off using just their thighs. Like, you're screwed.
And then
if you bring war to their shores, they will fuck you up.
And we see that happen.
We do. That was really nice. Like, obviously the classic story is that Steve Trevor's plane crashes in Themyscira and Diana learns of the Great War, World War One, which they wouldn't be calling it at that point because it's just World War. Yeah. But, like, they learn of World War One in the outside world, so she's like, right, I'm going to take him back because he has crucial information that needs to get back to British intelligence. He's like, I'm going to take him back and I'm going to help them as best I can. But there's a really nice moment when that happens. He's not the only person to cross into, like, the threshold of Themyscira. A bunch of German forces arrive there too.
Yes.
So you get a really cool... It's the scene in the trailer of the fight on the beachfront. That's in the first third. It's brutal. And it's that nice mix as well. They don't make it so that the Amazons are invulnerable. They make it just like, no, they can get hurt too because they've never seen a gun.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know what a gun is. Their armour is not prepared for this. At the same time, they're taking out more dudes with bows and arrows than are being taken out with muskets. So, it's all good.
Yes.
That first shot, the one where the one swings down, it's like the triumphant first warrior to hit the beach, and she's swinging from the rope from the cliff face, and that bullet flies through the air.
You just see it, Diana watch it go past.
Yeah, it just hits the warrior in the stomach, and she just dangles limp from the wire, and you're like...
And it's the first time Diana's seen death.
Yeah. Like, it's the first time it's ever, like, been a thing. Because obviously... Themyscirans, they are the Amazons. They go along with that origin that they were created like by the gods to bring compassion to man and to teach them love and togetherness and everything. Which is where a lot of the translations of this island of women gets lost in a lot of adaptations, as to being just like, oh, they're here to teach us the girly ways of the... No, fuck that. Love isn't just hearts and rainbows and everything. It's like the strongest sort of human trait that makes us stand out from other things.
Yeah, compassion.
There's compassion. That's what they are about. So... Where was I going with that?
That's why Wonder Woman becomes a Star Sapphire in Blackest Night.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. But that's why they're essentially they are of the gods. So they've been living there forever. Like there's never going to be a child. There's never going to be a new Amazon until Diana, who's
that's why they make such a big fuss over her.
Yeah, Hippolyta sculpted her from clay and granted her life. Zeus granted her life because she wished for a daughter. And it's like, oh, that's really sweet. As if that's where... As if that's it. As if that's it.
It's no spot to say, that isn't the whole story.
Yeah, we won't spoil that, because it's interesting, like, the versions of stuff that they use. Because that was one of her origins, and has been many times.
Although, I will present this as a con of the movie.
Oh?
The script is solid, but you can see all the twists, and I use inverted commas for that, coming a mile off.
Yeah. I'd say there's one toward the end as part of the final set piece that when it revealed itself, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming in that form, but fair enough. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's a very paint by numbers sort of story once it gets going.
But it's very solidly done.
It's a film about acknowledging you can't change the world.
Yeah.
But you can do your best to help.
But it's also the first DC expanded universe movie that actually holds together as a coherent narrative and has a plot which has a structure, and so even though it isn't, breaking the mold, and some of that stuff is telegraphed quite early on. The fact that it actually works as a narrative, I'll take that. I'll take a solid script that's a little predictable over something that just doesn't work at all any day.
Pros, casting.
Oh yes,
so well cast. Now, obviously, the movie inherits a cast member in the form of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
And I know there was some concern over before when the movies went out the way she'd be able to carry the film, and I think she does a really, really good job.
Yeah, I was one of the concerns simply off the basis that from what I'd seen her in before, I was like, she's serviceable, but she's not like, I don't think she could bring the variety you'd need to be the lead of a film of that kind of scale.
She
does all right.
Yeah, she's got charisma. She's got an incredible physical presence.
Yeah,
she's
like
got
for the whole all the doubters of like she's so petite. It's like it's not about the size. It's about
she's
how
not petite. She's
about
5'10".
Yeah, but it's about how you carry yourself. And
Yeah.
she looks sturdy. She looks like she could hand you your arse.
She's 5'10". She's served in the Israeli Defense Force. She knows how to be physical. Like, Gal Gadot is
Of course she does. That's why she was pregnant during the making of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, dirty joke.
Yeah.
Dirty
Oh, yeah,
joke.
also she reshot some of this when she was 5 months pregnant, so... Yeah.
Will you tell me
That does not show at all.
No, it's so well done. Well, you say that, how did they do that? Was there a costume? They had like a green belly over her baby bump.
Yeah.
And then they CGI'd like the normal stomach there in its place.
But it doesn't show in any of the choreography or the action. It's really... Wow.
I think there are a couple of weightier emotional moments she doesn't quite nail.
But I think she sells the ones that matter, though.
Yeah.
I never thought that. I
Agreed.
never was like, oh, that didn't quite land for me. I got it. I thought she was great.
Fair dues. That's fine. Opinion is subjective, and you are
Yes.
wrong. But
thanks.
But yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, do you know what? I would like to see her in more things now because I think she's going to be one of those actors who will get better the more she does.
Yeah. I think the biggest.
It doesn't look like she's sort of gone, oh, this is fine. It looks like she's gone, no, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to push
The
even
biggest
further.
obstacle she's up against is working in a second language, really, and that's only going to get better with time.
She's great though. Like she sounded as much like someone who has English as their second language as the character would need to.
Yeah.
Because they make a point in the movie of like the Themyscirans are ready to bring peace to the world. Like if that time comes again, the Amazons are ready to do that. So they're fluent in like 500 languages. So if you're fluent in 500 languages, you're going to be a little shaky on them sometimes because you're probably not using 498 of them on the regular.
Yeah, well, quite.
And also, like Keats pointed this out last night. All the other actors on Themyscira, all the other Amazons, the performers affected their accents to match Gal Gadot's.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Which makes sense, because again, like that part's already cast, so you're already like, well, this is what she sounds like, coming from Themyscira. I guess this is like how everyone should sound.
Yeah.
So let's work this in.
Let's do that.
And that did well. It's like Forrest Gump. You know, Tom Hanks came up with the voice of Forrest Gump when he met the actor who'd been cast to play the young Forrest in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And that's just how he sounded. So he was like, right, I'm going to do that. It's like, okay, fair
that
enough.
makes sense.
Instead of trying to teach this kid to sound like a voice I'm going to come up with, I'm just going to do his voice.
Yeah.
And it worked out for that one. Chris Pine.
Oh, Chris Pine's great.
I described Chris Pine. I was chatting to Little Billykins, who sent a mini review for us to read.
Oh, yeah.
Little Billy Tracy of the Five Huff Hands.
Yes.
I said to him last night, dingle, 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 dingle.
Dingleberry.
Yes, Dingleberry.
Dingleberry!
No, I described... Oh, God, there's more messages than I thought. Sorry. I described to him last night, Chris Pine, as this. Chris Pine was an obnoxious, sexy charm factory.
Yes.
Like, there was that weird smugness that made me want to be really annoyed with him. I was like, oh God, he's just Kirk again. But he's charming as fuck.
Yeah.
And him and Gal work so well together. Like, Pine and Godot are... some of the best moments in this movie are not only because they made... Patty Jenkins made a very different decision from the other three films in the DCEU, but some of the best moments in the movie are just the quiet moments.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
a couple of characters talk to each other.
Absolutely.
And one of the best scenes in the film, which is hilarious because it's just kind of crude and verging on a bit, like, much, is the scene where they first leave their mascara on the boat.
Yeah.
And he's made a place for her to sleep. She's like, will you not sleep with me? he's like, what? She's like, why would you sleep over there? And he's like, well, it's just not the done thing. She's like, there's plenty of room and it is comfortable. Like, sleep here. And he sort of eventually is like, oh, okay. And then it's basically just pillow talk.
Yeah.
They just lay there talking. She's just asking him perfectly innocent questions, and he's asking her perfectly innocent questions, but both of them inevitably sort of lead down the road of sexual contact.
Oh, yes, because it's company production. I know of this.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, she's just like, yeah, that's how people make babies. It's like, right, well then how are you lot there? And it's like, oh, we don't need to do that. Like, I was sculpted from clay. It's like, okay. Besides, we realise that men's role is only... Men's role is only essential for the reproduction.
Yeah.
When it comes to pleasures of the flesh, like a man is optional. And you just get this brief look across his face where he's clearly going like, "Are you telling me I'm not going to think about it?" Like,
yeah,
I am an early 20th century guy. I am going to have to keep a tiny bit of decorum.
There's plenty of anachronism in his dialogue though. Like I
think that's more a change of contemporary filmmaking, really.
And also just like he has enough charm to sell it.
Yeah.
So you don't really care. It's like
he is above average.
He is above average for his sex. Where I come from, I would definitely not be considered average. I'm a spy. It takes a sort of fortitude.
God. He's great. Supporting cast as well, like David Thewlis rocks up as, I'm trying to remember the character's name. He's basically a high-end politician who's been helping...
British McBritish.
Yeah, he's been helping negotiate the armistice
British moustache.
toward the end of the war, like all that negotiation, because it's basically set at the very end of the First World War.
Yeah, literally the First World War is about to end.
Yeah, because obviously it ended with the tentative armistice that eventually just sort of led to, oh, no more conflict now. Yeah. Okay.
But it's... Basically, the peril of the movie is that the armistice is about to be signed, but there's one German General Ludendorff,
who played by Danny Houston,
who is convinced that with the aid of the Dr. Poison, which is the nickname the scientist has been given to create gas, with her help, he can create a biological weapon that will end the war in one attack. So he's convinced that they can still win, whereas the rest of the German army are like, no, we've got to stop this. This has gone beyond. We're not going to win.
Millions of people have died.
25 million people have gone into Steve Trevor.
Yeah, it's not about like winning now. It's about just ending this. Like that's what we want to do. And he's like, no, we can still win it. You see the terrifying effects of her gas. There's that lovely shot in the trailer which you see, and it's extended in the film, of the gas mask in like the globe being tested, and you're just seeing it crack and wither. And that's a terrifying image. The idea that they could create a weapon on a chemical level that would do that. That would just like, it's not that it won't, it's not designed to kill the people. It's designed to destroy the equipment they're wearing, and then they'll just die from suffocation, basically.
Oh no, it will kill them.
It will kill them, but like it's the whole thing of it'll whittle away everything that's ever been made to survive gas. It's like, that is a haunting idea. She's got a lovely haunting design as well. Dr. Poison.
With the
porcelain face mask.
The First World War sort of reconstructive mask, which is totally a thing.
Yeah.
And like, sort of fascinating to look into, like the designs that the people would come up with to cover these horrific facial injuries they got in the war.
Obviously, hers is shattered, implying maybe sort of conflict or something at some point. Like hers is broken.
No, I don't think it's broken. I think that's just the way it's designed.
Yeah, I sort of assumed that it had been cracked and stuff. Because it gave her a slightly more inhuman appearance.
But it has the flexibility to it.
To like ventriloquist dollmouth. Ventriloquist dollmouth.
Yeah.
So I'm so for that.
I don't think it's damaged. I think it's designed that way.
Okay. Yeah, because it was fitted to her cheek and everything.
Yeah.
Like, she and General Ludendorff are, like, going against their superiors' orders to sort of get this pushed so that it works. They're determined to do a weapons test. So basically, Chris Pine, Steve Trevor, has stolen her notebook and is trying to get it back to British intelligence so that they can do something about it. Meanwhile, the bad guys are putting together, like, their test attack and their main weapon in the hopes of setting it off, even if it means on the night of the signing of the deal for the armistice. Like, they're going to do it. So yeah, it's a race against the clock movie. We meet some really cool, interesting characters on the way, like the team they assemble. I saw one of the reviews referred to them as the yelping commandos.
Yes, the not quite howling commandos. Yeah. This movie has a lot of similarities to the first Avenger.
I think if you like the fish out of water story of Thor, and you like the period setting of Captain America: First Avenger, you will really dig this movie because it is sort of an amalgamation of those two themes and styles.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be those movies. It's just, unfortunately, it has to cover that same ground because that's this character's story.
But that's one of the reasons they moved it to the First World War.
Yeah.
Even though Wonder Woman's tradition... Because she was created during the Second World War.
Yeah.
So she's traditionally associated with that period. And Steve Trevor was originally a World War II airman.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a case of them having to go, well, we can't do World War II because Captain America already did it.
Yeah.
So we'll do the First World War. And also it
But it lends a more unique setting. It
Yeah.
means that you can sort of use technology and military stuff that we don't really see as much as, say, the Second World War kind of
and
level
also
of things.
the First World War is historically, I say interesting, it's not quite the word to use because it was such a fucking abomination, but historically it's interesting because it was the first war where mechanization really started to take over, and you had a lot of people using outdated tactics and weapons
Yeah.
to fight new technology that was coming in so rapidly, and that was where you get these 25 million dead.
Yeah.
Like the Battle of the Somme, where like hundreds of thousands of soldiers die in one day,
Yeah.
and things like. It's just the sheer scale of it was just unlike anything anyone had ever seen before, and so for that to be sort of Diana's introduction to the world, I think is quite. It works thematically, I think.
Yeah. They play on her learning about man's world so well.
Yeah, she's got a wonderful innocence at the start of the movie.
Yeah, because that's the thing. She's a badass, but you know she can take out a room of 30 villains with ease. But they do play on the idea that she would also, in this moment, be like, "I've never been to man's world. Oh, what is this then? Like, what's this? Oh, that's amazing. Can I try it? This is great.
What do you women wear to fight?
Yeah, it's like, is this your armour? And it's like, no, that's for fashion. While we're at it, let's talk about Etta Candy.
Oh, I love Lucy Davis.
Um,
She's so good in this, and she's barely in it, and it's like, oh no, I want to see more Lucy Davis.
yeah,
Please.
Con. Her first 3 lines are the punchlines of the trailers, so I was like, oh, is this all she did then? Pro. No, she does more than that.
And she's great
she's
in
just
it. Brilliant. But the thing, Con, actually,
Aye.
because this movie is set in the First World War, and presumably future Wonder Woman movies will be set in modern day,
Yeah.
we won't see more of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, I mean,
Because they're so good.
But again, like I think the story that they told with them, even with the not quite Howling Commandos, like they are a joy to watch and interact with.
Yeah.
And Etta Candy was fun spending time with, and like Theodore's politician and everything. Like you like seeing them.
I've seen some speculation that the little group that Trevor puts together might be the forerunners of the Black Hawks.
What is that?
Black
I'm
Hawks
blanking.
are like DC's sort of military team,
Okay.
like sort of the GI Joe of the
I kind of see
of
that.
the DC universe.
More like them sort of maybe putting other people together and they guide them, maybe. 'Cause
Maybe.
I don't know if they'd be the people that charge through the front door of a battle, but
No, but like their exploits.
when World War II rolls around, they're definitely
Yeah.
going to be like the sort of people who will be helping to lead for fights against.
Well, not even that, but like their exploits will inspire the Black Hawks.
Right. Okay. Oh, you mean Forerunners quite literally? Like
Yeah,
they're the template.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But that's just speculation. I don't know if any of that's true because I've seen the chief character credited as Black Hawk in places, but I don't know if that's just people misattributing things or whatever.
Just being racist, basically.
yeah.
Like he's a Native American. He's Black Hawk now.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Bigham Black Hawk. So, oh God, no.
Yes.
No.
No.
Danny
don't do
Houston getting to have a bit more fun. Danny Houston does tend to get put in villain role, but in this one he gets to have a bit more of a gleeful side to it. Like he's clearly just like the villain of we will win and we will do this, but he's also enjoying himself.
Oh
in a few
boy,
parts.
is he? Yeah.
And that's pretty great. And he's just, I think when it comes to the villain, like if you're weighing up the villain aspects of this movie to other films, like there has been this thing in modern superhero movies, the villains almost being like not given enough of a chance to shine because it's all about the heroes and everything.
Yeah.
I would agree that in this one, the bad guys aren't really sort of, they're not like, we're not back in the days of like Jack Nicholson's Joker or anything like that. But I think you'll remember them.
Yeah.
Like, you'll definitely remember them, and
so.
they're effective and threatening in this
I
story.
think both the villains in this have a sort of both Ludendorff and Dr. Poison have a real charisma about them.
Yeah.
And they're memorable performances as well, I think, particularly from the lass who plays Dr. Poison.
Yeah. The scene with her and Steve Trevor at the fireplace, the gala in particular, is really well played by them both. Biggest con, I think you've said it. It's like, it's a shame we're not really going to see these characters again in this setting. But if this is the story we get with them, fair enough. Biggest pro for me, it's the direction. Like,
Yes.
Patty Jenkins has told this story very well. Like I said, I don't think Godot is absolutely nailing sort of the leading role kind of ability needed, but she's damn close now. And Jenkins, I think, is a big part of why she did so well in this movie. I think those two work together so meticulously to make this work and tell the story. Because that's the thing as well, like, actors are actors, but if the directors aren't directors, your actors aren't going to look good and they aren't going to be able to tell the story properly. So it's a collaborative effort. See the Star Wars prequels for evidence of directors not working with their actors.
Yeah.
Look at the mannequin. Look at all the fucks I give. Look at them going away. So there's that. I think Patty Jenkins did that. Visually, the film is very striking. The action scenes are really cool and, like, brutal.
That's some really great
You don't see gashing and blood or anything like that, but you see the blade slicing, you see the shield smacking into faces, you see the lasso, like, chucking people left, right, and centre. Her armour looks amazing in motion, like, much better than I think it did in Batman v Superman, because it was drowned out in that film's lack of colour palette.
It's definitely... In Batman v Superman, the colours are more muted on it, and it's more battered and dinged up, where in this it's fresh and new and colourful and bright. Definitely.
The World War One, like, the way they make London look, and the great review of London.
Yeah.
It's like, so this is London. It's horrible.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. It's like, yay! It's the best description ever.
True.
I recommend it, man. If we had to be as simple as giving it a star rating, but we have done it before, so screw it. I think I'm going to do something I don't do. I don't like giving half stars because I think it's a cop out. But I'd give it 3.5 stars.
I'll go for 4. It's really
You go
solid.
for 4.
It's really solid.
Yeah.
It hasn't got any glaring issues. I don't think. It's just nothing. It just doesn't make. There's nothing in it to elevate it to amazing. But it's a really, really solid movie. It's well worth your time.
It's like one of the better. I think a good way to describe it is it's like one of the better 2000 superhero movies.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like the Iron Man end of the pool where it starts.
Oh,
to get
yeah. I'd
better,
definitely put it above like any of the X-Men movies.
Yes.
I'd rather watch this than any of the X-Men movies.
It's the most consistently solid and enjoyable DC Warner's movie since The Dark Knight.
Should we do a bit of spoiler talk?
Let's do it, guys. Spoilers. We're going to do a bit of spoiler natter about.
Yeah, so go watch it. If you're worried about spoilers, go give it a watch because it's out now.
So pause this, go watch it. But if you want to skip, the time codes will tell you down below. Where does it skip to, you little bastard? Yeah. So we're going to start talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. The whole film was a dream.
So what do you think about Ares?
Holy shit. Now, there was suspicion that Ares was involved because the first whisper that Ares was definitely a thing, at least in the traditional comic book sense, was when DC and is it Hasbro that they work with for the DC Multiverse figures?
Yeah.
Earlier this year announced the Wonder Woman wave, the Build-A-Figure wave.
Which, of course, included
Which
Ares.
is Hippolyta, Diana in like her Themysciran thingy. I'm trying to remember the auntie's name now with that character.
Antiope.
Diana in her sort of. I would nearly bought it because I saw it in Toys R Us the week, but then I realised the cape wasn't removable from the head. But it's basically how she looks in the film, but with the black cape on. But it's also sculpted into a hood.
Oh,
so it was like, that's a shame because it looks like you could detach the cape from the torso and get a really cool Wonder Woman action figure without the cape. The cape was just sort of obscuring the head a bit. It was like, that's sort of weird.
Oh.
But that, and I think Steve Trevor, but the Build-A-Figure is Ares.
Of course.
And the promo shot of it is it's in shadow. Even on the back of the boxes, it's sort of like in shadow to be like, oh, Mister, you have to get the pieces to see what it looks like. And I was like, okay, so Ares is in the movie somewhere. Fair play, mince.
I mean, who else are you going to use?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of Wonder Woman villains, I mean, they used Dr. Poison, who is like fucking deep pull, because the Dr. Poison isn't really used very much because she was created in World War II as sort of a Yellow Peril villain. She's a Japanese woman, which they completely cut out of the movie. They've made her European. Yeah. Because in the First World War, Japan was on the side of the Allies.
Yeah.
So they've got rid of that sort of problematic backstory. But it's like, it's still such a deep pull, and she's hardly iconic. And you try and think of iconic Wonder Woman villains, you always come back to Ares.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, off the top of my head, if I had to name Wonder Woman villains, the only ones I can think of, like, straight up, no joke, is Ares, Cheetah, and that's it. That's all I can think of.
Ares and Cheetah. And
that's because I'm not a particularly big Wonder Woman reader, but, like, also...
I'm trying to think of, like, Wonder Woman story arcs. I've not really read any pure Wonder Woman. Most of the Wonder Woman exposure I've had is her in other stories.
Yeah, well, for me, Wonder Woman, like the Wonder Woman in my head, is always going to be from the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons.
Yeah, that's a really
that's Wonder Woman to me.
But
and the 2009 animated movie Wonder Woman is pretty freaking solid. But guess who the villain is in that one? Ares. And guess who the villain is at the sting at the end, leading into another story? Cheetah.
There you go.
So there you go. But yeah, Ares. So I was like, okay. Then in the beginning, you see the that's graphic wise, that was amazing. The sort of
that sort of flashback to the origins of the Amazon.
Yeah, but through the murals, but the murals were like moving.
Yeah,
and stuff. So it's that old painting style. You see Ares in that, and again, he's mostly in shadow. Like you see, he's backlit and stuff. And I was like, right. As we were watching last night, I was like, that's the figure. Then that's where he looks like this in the movie. Because the plot of the film is that Diana follows Steve Trevor back to Man's World because she's like, Ares is doing this. Ares is stoking the conflict. Like, men are being corrupted by him because he wants war and death. So there's that whole extra plot angle throughout the movie of, like, she's only there because she thinks that there's a big baddie she has to kill, and if she does that, everything will be fine. Which is really sad, and, like, because you as a person who lives in Man's World yourself are going, it's not as simple as that. Oh, no. God, we wish it was.
And Steve Trevor keeps trying to tell her that, but he's like, he doesn't... And there are hints of something going on, like the gas.
I do like the fact that they didn't say outright by the end of the movie, First World War happened because of Ares.
Well, he says it doesn't. He's like, look, I give him ideas and I give him weapons, but they use them. They get into his arguments.
His only involvement in World War II, in the First World War, by the sound of it, was Ludendorff and Dr. Poison. Like, I mean, he was just like, oh, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should try that. Well, you could still win this war. You could do it. Like, all you need to do is this.
But he's also being David Thewlis on the other side.
Yes, stoking the British forces as well.
So,
because that was the other thing. I was like, I saw in the flashback. I was like, all right, so that's Ares. Then that's what the toy's based on. These flashbacks. No, the toy's based on David Thewlis covered in battle armor at the end of the movie. Because holy shit, David Thewlis was Ares. That was great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
That was really great because again, like Danny Houston taking the Dr. Poison, like the adrenaline driven stuff that makes him like super strong for
which is the first moment where you think, oh yeah, there is something else going on here other than just war stuff. But then at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, that maybe he's not Ares then.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was nice because they leave it open and there's a scene at the gala when she and him are dancing at the ball. And she's basically testing the waters of the conversation. She's like, I want you to out yourself. And he really sort of, in that moment, I was like, maybe he is. Like, maybe this is just Ares, this is what Ares is now. Like, he's human, but this is what he is. Because especially at the end when she sort of like talks about the gods and as he backs away, says, you know nothing of the gods. I was like, oh shit, maybe he is. But then the fight happens and she plunges the sword through him when she finally beats him. And that was so well done because it was like not even the big triumphant swell of music so much as like it was directed where you were like, yeah! And then she looks around and the fighting's still happening and the poison is still being shipped into the aircraft and she's like, I don't understand. Like she can't deal with it. She can't cope with it because this is everything she's been taught from birth. Like, is that Ares is the fuel of all conflict and if you kill Ares, you kill war. And she's like, but I've done it. I mean, that was heartbreaking to watch, her pleading with Steve.
Yeah.
She's like, because she's basically saying to him, like, no, it should have worked. And he's like, look, it didn't. That's maybe we are the bad thing. We are the problem. people. We
Yeah.
are the evil.
Yeah.
We've just got to deal with it and try and stop as much of it as we can. And it's just like, oh god, it's horrible.
It's not that simple.
Yeah, and that was nice. The film didn't at any point try to say, because I thought that was where it was going early on, where it's like, First World War happened because of a supernatural happenstance.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, the film doesn't say that at all. But then that was eerie when Ares reveals himself and it's Thulis just in the middle of the watchtower and she's talking to him and then she gets to the edge of the glass approaching the door 'cause she's there ready to like stab him or something. He's just gone, but he's on the other side of the glass at the far end, like uplit. He looks really gaunt and creepy. And basically you find out that, Ares had been taking his place in humanity for thousands of years, stoking the fires whenever he could. Never inciting conflict, but certainly making it longer.
Whispering in an ear here. And
that was a beautiful visual. Like put Dr. Poison at her desk and you just saw, it was almost like a ghost. You just sort of like walking past her in the background talking. And it was like, oh my god. So it's about subliminals. Like he's just been basically coaxing people to cause more death.
A little push here, a little push there.
It was amazing. It's also amazing that he retained his moustache from being a god to modern day.
Well, with a moustache like that, you would, wouldn't you?
Thulis was clearly having a ball with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the sort of role that he'd normally take. So I wonder if he was like, oh, sod it, go on, like, bring on the challenge, let's do it.
I mean...
Because it was him at the end as well. I mean, a lot of CG, but it's like, the end fight, like, when she starts to physically attack him, that was pretty cool. He's, like, floating above the ground and stuff in his big long coat, so it looks nice and creepy, and he's pulling lightning out of the sky and firing it at her. And...
Yeah, plenty of lightning, but no big blue beam going up into the sky.
Yeah, that's very true. Did you notice as well, like, he was telekinetically moving stuff around, but did you notice he only moved the weaponry in the vehicles?
Yeah.
It's almost like he has control over war.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was quite cool. Like, at no point, there's a bit where he lifted up the ground, but it's because he was lifting up all the stuff on. He was all just clinging to it and everything. He smashed it with a bit of the pavement.
You see, Chris, he is war itself.
Yeah, he actually is! He is, and it wasn't dumb. It was great. But that was great. I mean, like, at one point, like, he binds her with the freaking caterpillar tracks of a tank.
Yeah.
And he's just chucking bits of, like, he's just picking up, like, the crates with the ammunition and it's tearing into swords.
Yeah.
And it's, like, smacking her with a sword.
Throws a bunch of little bombs at her, she throws a big bomb at him.
Yeah. I think that was the thing. I said last night, I would have really respected the balls on them for getting to her killing Danny Houston, realising that, oh my god, no, it's not as simple as that, and then the film wrapping up in some other way. Because it would have been like, and the message of this movie basically is, people are evil, let's try and be nice to each other. But then, of course, once he appeared, I was like, oh, we're going to get a big CGI fight now. Because they have to end it in a big blockbustery way. Fair enough, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think they mitigated a lot of the problems that you had in a CGI big fight like... Batman vs Superman.
Batman very Superman.
Batman very Superman.
Donna Jaundice.
Because the action was easier to follow, it was better choreographed.
It was two people very clearly fighting in a smaller area.
It was two people who have... Oh, God, I'm sorry. There was two people who have a conversation and a relationship, and not just a couple of people beating on this giant CGI cave troll.
Yeah. I also like the... I like the armour. I thought it was a cool way to do Ares' armour, was he basically just pulled all the metals from around him to create an armour that looked like... Which I guess that's the toy. I also like the fact that in the tiny slit of his helmet, it was still David Thewlis. They didn't give him like a black face with glowing red eyes or anything.
There's also
like
that wonderful visual where the armour's still molten and he just puts his fingers into the front of it and drags down to create the eye holes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How sweet.
Cool.
And also, what do we call it? Oh, what was I getting at? Something...
That end fight.
Yeah, the end fight was something... I can't remember what it was. I had a point and it's completely slipped out of my brain. I'm very tired.
It was good, though.
We both fell asleep, like, around about 4 a.m.
It was a good fight.
And it's now just after 3 p.m. and we're still kind of drowsy as balls.
It was a good fight. It was a good way to tail off a pretty good...
Yeah.
Pretty good movie.
That was it. The fact that Ares' plan wasn't just, I'm going to make everybody hurt each other and I feed off war. Like, it was a variation of that. It was, man was Zeus's creation and I hated my father and that's why, like...
There's a bit of the devil in him, a bit of Lucifer in him.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I killed everybody. So here's what I'm going to do. I enjoy conflict, so I've been poking the bear. I've been, stoking the fires. And I'm going to get it to the point where they all wipe each other out. And then when they're dead and this earth is pure and green again, will I truly have won? Because I'll have wiped out my father's creations.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. And of course, I didn't realise until she said at the end as well, goodbye, brother. Like, of course.
She's his half brother.
She's his half brother. That's how.
He's her half brother.
He's her half brother, yeah.
Gender.
Because she's the weapon. Like, she were introduced to the God Killer in the movie, the sword to kill Ares.
And you know that's coming as soon as they set it up. You know that she's the God Killer.
Well, I think for me the bit where I was like, that's exactly where they're going was when in the sparring fight early on, she deflects her auntie with just normal bracelet. Like they're not even the bracelet she's wearing for the rest of the film and stuff. Like not the exact same ones. She just deflects her auntie and it like gives a shockwave. And I'm like, how is she able to do that? And why is no one picking up on it? And she doesn't question it because she's like, is this something we can do? Is this something we do that I've not seen? But her mother's obviously like, oh shit, like she's going to start to figure out she's more than just a normal Amazon.
And they don't really have time because she's so scared by that she runs off, and then that's when she sees Steve Trevor crashing into the sea, and then the Germans are hot on his tail, and they have a big beach fight, and then Antiope dies, and fucking other Amazons die. There's a lovely moment as well where Antiope's dying, and you see one of the Amazons. So you see her sister run over to her, who's Hippolyta. You see Diana run over to her, who's her niece, and you see another one of the Amazons run over to her, who's presumably her wife or partner.
It was the lady. It was the lady who had the remarkably long neck.
Yeah.
Who had 2 lines prior to that, and both of the line reads were really stupid because we both went. Like,
that's almost like, yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, keep working.
Yeah.
Like, what? That was just like background dialogue that wasn't meant to be in the film. That they just put in the film, I think.
And then she had another line after that at some point where I can't remember what it was, but I think we both at that point went. It was a really stupid line read. But no, there's an almost implication that this is her partner.
Yeah.
It's like,
I never get into it, but that just felt nice.
Yeah, it's world building without spelling it out, which is the best way to do it, really. The Mos Eisley Cantina works because it's just, this is what people look like in space.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you just go, all right, fair enough. They don't make a thing of, look at this weird alien. It's like, everybody's aliens.
Yes.
Oh, cool. And again, like, that's when Steve asks about the relationships and stuff in this, there's the implication that, there's romance and sex on Themyscira.
Of course there is.
Of course there is. We just don't make babies because we don't make babies. Yeah. Like, it's not what we do.
Also,
we live forever, presumably.
We're functionally immortal, I imagine. So.
Yeah, so babies don't need to be made. Men are unnecessary when it comes to simple pleasures of the flesh.
Which begs the question.
They're an option.
How long is Diana a child for?
Well, that's the thing. She is different from everybody. And they do make a point of that. Like, they don't make her mum or anyone look younger in the earlier parts of the movie when she's a child.
Yeah.
They all look exactly the same age when she grows up.
So does she just age for thousands of years until she's a young woman?
Yeah, that's a good... Because again, like, Zeus created her. Like, Zeus... it's basically spelled out, isn't it, that Zeus and Hippolyta had a daughter.
Yeah.
So... we can presume that she was conceived around the time the Amazons were first created to bring love and understanding to man.
No. So the Amazons bring love and understanding to man.
Yeah.
Then they're enslaved by man.
Yeah.
Then Hippolyta and Antiope lead a rebellion.
Yeah.
And then Ares kills all the gods.
Right.
Zeus strikes down Ares.
Yeah.
And charges the Amazons.
Like, right, I'm so sorry all this shit happened to you guys.
And he gives them a weapon to defeat Ares should he rise again.
And basically, him and Hippolyta bound chicka wow out. Yeah. She makes a baby. And
that's the demigod that will kill Ares should he rise again. So she must have been born when Ares fell.
Yeah.
So it would have been a couple of thousand years ago.
Which also beautifully explains Hippolyta's reluctance for Diana to sort of learn anything. Because it's like, the moment you start to learn about this, the moment you realise you were created to fight someone who could kill you, and I don't want that, because I love you, you're my daughter. And I love that their ending isn't resolved as well. Their ending is like, she says goodbye to her, she says, I don't want you to go, but I know I can't stop you. It's like,
they're going to be in Justice League, though, as well. So
depending on how they do it, fair enough.
No, she says to her, you've been my greatest joy my whole life.
Yeah, my greatest love.
But today you're my greatest sorrow.
Yeah, and then she just turns, gets on the horse, and goes, and you're like, that's the last thing she's saying to her.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like, I mean, what a way to do it! Like, it's not like a go, save man's world, be the hero you need to be. It's like, I know I'm not going to stop you. Like, I just want you to know, I love you, but you're breaking my heart. Bye!
She
Bye,
says-
Diana! Bye!
She says, you know that if you leave, you may not return.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she means you might not come back,
I think
you're not allowed to come
I think
back.
because she gave her, like, the tiara and stuff, like, basically it's like a it was almost like anointing her, saying, like, yes, go and do this. I think she was basically saying, you're not coming back now. Like, you can't come back here. Like, your time with us is done. Because you are defying me, and if you come back, you know what I mean? It's like you're either going to die, or you're going to come back and go, see, it was fine, and that's going to tear our society apart.
Yeah.
So you cannot come back. I think the implication was more, I would like to see you again, but I can never see you again.
And although like Steve's death and
Spoiler alert. Spoiler section.
That sort of the revelation that it's not Ares that makes men wicked kind
Yeah.
of makes her turn her back on the world for a century.
Yeah.
It also, she doesn't seem to go back to Themyscira. She seems to like make a life for herself.
Yeah, she by the look of it, what's implied with the opening sequence in Paris and stuff, like
she's like a historian.
She is a historian. She documents warriors
Yeah.
and war and like the societies where her people came from and everything.
An art restorer and antiquities dealer, I believe.
It's almost a shame that there's the opening scene and the ending scene, because they remind you that this exists in a movie universe that's already going on.
And has 3 inferior films to its name.
Yeah.
This is the best DC movie, hands down.
Yeah, the ending shot
Like,
made me piss myself with like, oh, that doesn't work. Because basically she goes to the rooftop of the Louvre in her armour and leaps off of it. And it's like, why is she leaping off? I don't get it. Why is she... Why would she be dressed in that armour and leaping around Paris? That doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like it needed at least maybe for her to see someone being, mugged or something like that, and then she just like grabs the sword and leaves, and it's like, oh shit, she's gonna kick someone's ass.
Apparently, it was confirmed at some point by the production team on Suicide Squad that Wonder Woman was the one who apprehended Slipknot.
Right.
So I think the idea is that she has been sort of vigilanteing.
Oh my god, I
since
figured
Batman
that.
vs
Yeah.
Superman.
Because that's the thing about v Superman. He's not like bringing her out of retirement, more like bringing her into the light.
Yeah.
It's like, I know what you're up to.
But
Come and help
also,
me out.
I think.
And that was, it was a nice touch at the beginning. Like, if you forget the other movies exist, it's still a nice touch at the beginning to have a scene where Wayne Enterprises courier rocks up there and delivers, in the most secure way possible, the original photo of her and her troop from that village. And so, like, I found the original.
A handwritten note from
Bruce. Like, that's sweet. And had those other movies not existed, that would have been something I think we'd all be like, oh, that is so cool. They threw a nod into Batman at the beginning when Batman sends her a gift. That's really cool. Yay, Justice League. Yay, they're all friends. Yay, this is great. But it's like...
Do you think her and Batman are going to bang?
I hope not.
I hope not.
Because you can do Batman and Wonder Woman romantically.
They do it in Justice League Unlimited, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, 'cause I don't think it's overt. It's not even a will they, won't they. It's a, you two would be fucking great together. Like, the way they write them and the way they performed and everything. Like, and I think there's a kiss shared by them at one point.
She kisses him on the cheek at one point and he gets really embarrassed, I think.
Yeah, it never gets to them. It never gets to being a storyline.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that is something they've threaded that would be really cool to see.
And it's often, her and Superman are an often touted pairing through Injustice, through Kingdom Come, things like that, so, yeah.
I don't know. I hope she don't get where no one.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't become a thing.
Just
like, a romance subplot is not what
How did you feel about getting with Steve Trevor in the
Fine.
movie? It was weird, because part of me was like, well, that was the original story, so I'm kind of fine with it. But also, I was like, it'd be refreshing if they don't do a romance plot.
I think it's also...
Because they've obviously talked about, like, sexual stuff, like, it's quite funny and quirky. But it was where they were and everything.
Yeah.
It was like, after that night, it was like, tomorrow we could all die. Thank you for showing me what you've shown me. And that's them both thinking that.
I think it's also curiosity on her part, a
Yeah.
large part of it, of like, what is...
Because they never outright say, like, they had sex, but it ends with them kiss, like, the night ends with them, like, embraced and kissing.
In her
and then
room.
it cuts to it cuts to the next day. That was sweet, because when he first closed the door again,
He looks like he's going to go out, and then...
she's sort of like, it's not like a come to bed, it's just like, she looks at him like, why are you doing that?
It's like, come here.
And he sort of is like, he sort of seems unsure at first, he's like, "Oh, okay, right. But it was sweet, because it was a call back to the scene on the boat earlier. It's like, you can sleep here with me. I'm not going to be offended or upset by it. Like, there's room and it's comfortable. Please sleep by me. And it's like, okay. So I was like, oh, is that what they're going for? But like you say, yeah, playing with the curiosity, and it didn't become a thing. It wasn't like she was then motivated by her love for Steve or
No.
anything, and vice versa. He wasn't motivated by his love for her in that sense.
He does say at the end that he
I
loves
love
her,
you, yeah.
but when
also-
he gives her his watch, but then she never says it back, and it's not like she's mourning
Yeah.
him.
They earn it.
Yeah,
They're like they earn it because of the two people they are. Do you know what I mean? It's like
and
they're not making it like it's a love for the ages.
It's
like
Steve Rogers,
of
Peggy
course-
Carter thing.
Yeah.
Of like
Yeah,
it ends before it could begin.
yeah.
So it's kind of
It's forbidden love in the sense that it was never meant to be because circumstances get in the way. But
and he goes out like a champ, does Steve Trevor?
yeah, oh freaking
That last scene is wonderful. He
just
doesn't
the
say
held
anything.
the held shot.
He doesn't say
He
anything.
doesn't say
It's
anything.
all his face.
It starts out with him. He laughs, doesn't he? And then he sort of calms down.
And he
starts
realizes
to
what he's actually got to do. It's
yeah,
like,
and
oh.
he turns back and he sort of
Oh,
aims the gun. He
shit.
aims the gun at the canisters as
Yeah.
the plane's going up. And he just looks back and he takes a few breaths, and that is Patty Jenkins. I think was the best thing about this, and it really shows up Snyder and Ayer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it really is like...
And people will be like, what, are you saying that women directors better than the male directors? That's sexist. No, that's not what I'm
I
saying.
think
What I'm
this
saying
director's
is,
better than those
this
directors.
director is better than those
Yeah,
directors.
yeah,
This is a
definitely.
storyteller who has come from a world of drama and thriller and that stuff, and she has brought the weight of the characters and world building to the superhero genre. Whereas they have always been action, things shooting things. This is about violence.
And yet the action in this movie is better than any of the action in those movies.
Because you can freaking see it as
Like,
well.
The No Man's Land sequence is amazing.
Yeah.
The whole liberation of the village.
That was my favourite.
Everything
That
from
was
when,
my favourite.
when she steps out of the trench to when the tower gets demolished.
Yeah.
Is just fucking brilliant, like non-stop. Just
Yeah.
they throw her into a building, Chris. They throw her into a building and she just picks up a fucking tank.
Yeah.
Picks up a fucking armoured car and throws it. Like, what the fuck? It's amazing.
It's so cool. I'm so pleasantly surprised, and it's not because I'd doubted the abilities of the filmmakers, but more because this was film 4 in a series I really, really do not like.
And I really wanted them to turn it around, and like this one's whether they can keep this momentum going with Justice League already being mostly done.
I was going to say I don't have high.
Right.
I don't have I won't go into Justice League hoping for the quality we got for Wonder Woman.
But
I'm going into Justice League expecting Batman v Superman Part 2.
I'm glad Wonder Woman was good because I think it'll lead to more female-led superhero movies, which I think is what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really sort of a sign of its triumph in general on my personal barometer is it's the first DCEU movie I'm actually going to fucking buy.
Yeah, I think it's really
Because I used to be that completionist in the early 2000s where I was like, if it's a superhero movie, I'm buying it.
Whether I like
And
it
then
or not.
and then I'll watch it and decide if I like it or not. And you know, like recent years, I've been like, because I remember Guy when he stayed with us for a few months was like, "Why have you not got Man of Steel? I wanted to see it. Like, have you got Man of Steel?" I went, no, and he's like, "Why don't you have Man of Steel?"
Because it's
shit. I was like, because I saw it. It was shit. I don't want to watch it again.
Pants.
I mean, that being said, we're in the same room as like X-Men Origins Wolverine. But,
Yeah.
you know, it was bought in a box set. Damn it, leave me alone.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your shelf here, and you don't have Man of Steel or BVS or Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
and neither do I. I don't have those movies either.
I don't intend to watch any of them ever
No,
again, to be honest.
I think we'll probably have to at some point because we might do something with them in the future.
Yeah.
But
They're masochists, if anything.
um,
Wonder Woman's great. Wonder Woman's really good. David Thewlis's mustache is pretty sweet.
there's a great cast on the whole,
It's a
actually.
damn fine cast.
Yeah.
And I look forward to what this character does the next time they're allowed to tell their own story.
Yes.
I couldn't give a shit about her in Justice League.
She might be constrained in Justice League, but I'm intrigued to see what they do with her again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do you know what else we'll see?
Emails.
Hey!
You know what else we saw, which we're going to talk about?
Oh, yes.
Is we saw the Doctor Who.
The Doctor of the Who.
But
Matt
we'll-
and Chris, two lifelong Doctor Who fans, reluctantly review the latest episode. Ooh.
But we'll get to that.
Will we?
First.
Oh.
First.
No!
Hey.
Hey!
First, unrelated. No Doctor Who in this email.
What the
This
fudge?
comes from Daniel. He says, "Gentlemen, I am a mere 19 years of age. Yet I very much appreciated the Goons reference in episode 48 of the Big Damn Cast.
Yay!
That is all. Thank you for your time. Yay!
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
P.S. Regarding the alien conversations of the past few weeks, I have a question. I'm extremely averse to body horror, yet I love clever sci-fi stuff. Should I take the plunge and force myself through the gore for the sake of the sci-fi concept? Thanks again. I don't think the first two movies are particularly gory.
I mean,
Especially by today's
the
standards.
first one has
It's got that chest...
one big shock
Yeah.
moment of violence.
It's got the chest burster sequence, which is has some blood in it, but it's not like...
You're not seeing rib cages and things like
it's
that.
not modern gore by any standards. And the second one has less gore in it.
Yeah, because the second one's more about, like, you're seeing, like, burns and gunshots really quickly in the light.
Yeah.
And it's usually in the middle of... It's in the middle of fire, like it's in the middle of a fight. So you never, like, linger on the shots. They're all very quick.
It's only really Prometheus and Covenant that go full-on body horror.
Yeah.
There's some of it in Resurrection.
Yeah, with the clones and
With the
everything.
clones and the hybrid and stuff like that. But
3's got some cascading blood, but again, not really on camera. It's
Yeah,
like you know,
it's-
people being dragged into things and everything.
I think Alien and Aliens you're pretty much safe for, and they're worth watching. As to whether you watch further and want to push through the body horror aspects of Prometheus depends entirely on how much you find yourself liking the franchise after those two movies.
Yeah.
Because you could just watch those two and be fine.
If the basic question, forgetting the gore element for a second, is just, should I watch any of the Alien movies? I think our answer is just, yes, Alien and Aliens. There you go. That's your safe bet.
There's pleasures to be had with all of them,
Yeah. Pleasures of the flesh.
but a man is not required. There's pleasures to be had with all of them. But certainly by today's standards, they're not particularly gory anymore. So you put them next to something like a Saw or a Hostel, and they're not like
Yeah.
there's a little blood in them, and there's of course the idea of the chest burster, but it's more the themes and the implications of what they do than what they actually you actually see.
Yeah. The horror
quite
comes
restrained
comes from the boundaries broken,
Yeah.
not the flesh.
They're relatively tame compared to modern horror movies.
You'd be right.
You'll be right.
Say we're 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll be right.
You'll be able to cope with it, don't worry.
Canon Smallwood
As I live and breathe.
says, unfortunately, due to unforeseen weather-related incidents, I do not have a song this week.
I destroyed their piano.
However, what I do have is a manky old cardboard box in my loft full of old digital versatile discs. One of which is Time Lash, which I've got to hide up there until Mum and Auntie Eileen had a clear out last weekend and told me, and I was like, oh, bumdiddles, I just bought Time Lash recently. So anyway, I kept it, but I have 2 copies and don't really need 2 copies, and wondered if you'd like it. If not, no problem, please let me know either way.
I'm good for Time Lash, thanks.
But there's a follow-up. There's a follow-up.
Oh?
Canon Smallwood says, I retract my previous email due to having accidentally smashed Time Lash repeatedly against a wall. Regards, Canon Smallwood.
It's a shame that, because if an old beggar woman ever comes knocking at your door, asking for a gift, then you can always give a Time Lash. It ends well. It does end well, I've heard. Aye. YouTube it. Okay.
Lewis Christian
As I live and
Says-
breathe. As I live and eat copious amounts of brie.
says pyramids in that.
Okay.
And this is a very short email.
Aye.
He says simply, one day they will say, 2017. Boy, was that a time to be a Doctor Who fan.
Do you know what that's in reference to?
Tell me.
So the brand manager of Doctor Who this week tweeted that sentence.
Their brand is managed?
Apparently.
That's a fucking shock.
He tweeted that sentence.
I had a dream last night.
It's all about you.
I had a dream last night about
Meg Griffin.
about the end of Doctor Who.
Oh?
But it was still Matt Smith, but Missy was in it.
Right.
And there was a big old episode, and it was still Clara. There was a big old episode, and at the end of the episode, like, you literally saw them dismantle the TARDIS. and everything was put back in its right place, and, like, it had never been there. And then, like, the last shot of the episode was, you see in a room, and it's Chris Eccleston with his back to the camera.
Okay.
David Tennant sat down, and then Matt Smith is just in there. And it wasn't clear to me whether they were in character as the Doctor or themselves, but they were in costume. But Matt Smith had glasses on. And he just sits down and he's reading from a book and he looks up at you and he smiles and the door closes. And that was it. And I don't know where that came from.
Even in your dream, Chris Eccleston didn't come back. They got a body double and had him stand
Oh,
with their back to the camera.
I don't know if it was the actors. I don't know what that was. He just said bye, and the door closed, and that was it for Doctor Who. And then I had the idea that they would just start. That was how Matt Smith could have ended, and then he could have just started with Capaldi. But I was very upset by this. In my dream, I was holding back tears.
Aww.
I don't know why, because it didn't make any sense, because it was a dream. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about Pyramid at the End of the World.
Must we? Must we, Matthew?
It was alright. It wasn't
Watson.
very good. Like, again, it's got some decent ideas in it, but it just never really went anywhere with them, I thought. I like the idea of the monks, but then it was never clear about what exactly they were going to do. I like that we had a person of small stature in a role where that never came up.
Yep.
That was cool.
Agreed.
And she was good. The actress was good.
Tony Gardner was wasted, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hungover. Oh, he's a bit unwell. Oh, he's a puddle.
He's a puddle.
It's like, that's Tony Gardner! Every time I look at him, I instantly smile.
Yeah, but you bring
Because all I can hear in my head is... That's all I can hear in my head when I see him.
The good thing about bringing in actors like that is that you don't need to give them much to work with to establish themselves as a character and a presence.
Yeah, like you're instantly warm to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you recognise them from what stuff you've seen them in before. You go, yeah, it's that person.
But that's why actors like that tend to turn up as characters who get killed off early. Because you don't need to do much work on screen to establish them, because people just get them.
Alright, okay, I suppose.
From my point of view.
I suppose.
That's what I would do if I was casting an
I
episode.
suppose, Matthew, I suppose that's a perfectly valid excuse.
They continue to
for wasting the majesty of Tony Bartholomew Gardner.
Tony Bart.
I don't know if that's his name.
It is now. Tony Morecambe Gardner.
Hey!
I think... I don't understand where they're going with this blindness thing.
Well, it's done now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But exactly, what was the point?
I don't understand what the point of that was.
The Doctor's vulnerable during a time when he needs to not be vulnerable. Really?
And also, they made a big thing of setting up Missy in the vault last episode and haven't done anything with it this week, which means they're going to touch on it next week. Which is going to it means he's going to bring Missy out of the vault to help him take on the monks.
Like Extremis, this week to me just felt pointless. I came out of it having not learned anything.
I think if the payoff is good next week, I might end up liking this.
It's a big if, Sunshine.
But if the payoff is poor next week, which it most likely will be, I say that next week, this week. If the payoff is poor this week, I'm not gonna like this episode. But this episode is gonna live or die on the payoff that comes in the next episode.
Oh, I think it's dead on arrival. But I think that's just because I can kind of predict where they're going to go with it. The problem for me is the monks are the whisper men. The monks are the silence.
Yeah.
Oh, they've always been around and they've always been up to stuff, but what they're up to is vague. And I just have a nightmare vision of next week ending with, so what did they want? Perhaps we'll never know.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, fuck off. They took our attention for 3 weeks. Especially after you'd given us 5 weeks of, like, Monster of the Week, which had become fun again because we missed it. To suddenly have this thing be the story for 3 weeks and it not result in anything.
Yes.
It seems so dull. And it's like, so wait, their plot to take over the world is they're offering us salvation. Like, they don't take over the world in a, we are the rulers of Earth kind of way. More in a, we'll take care of you kind of way. But we know it's sinister because of the way that they've threatened them. So it's like, so they're not looking after us then. What? Why? And why is it a pyramid? Why is it a pyramid other than they had what? It's an interesting visual, unquote, and they had a CGI pyramid left in their digital effects store after the wedding of River Song.
I don't know. I think it being an interesting visual is a good enough excuse.
Yeah, but why a pyramid? Why a pyramid?
Why not?
Why would they just randomly plonk a pyramid somewhere? Oh, they're like, well, they've done it. They've wanted to get our attention. It's a warning. It's like, yeah, but why a pyramid?
Got people talking,
Why a
didn't it?
fucking pyramid?
It could have been a
But
dildo!
it didn't get people talking because other people knew about it with the military operations that surrounded the area and kept it from everybody.
That's fine, isn't it?
And that bastard plane. Like, we've got a plane set. Let's use it again. It's a different plane though. See, it doesn't have the Brigadier's portrait on the wall, but we've got a plane set in a story that is essentially the same from a basic standpoint as the last time we had that plane set up. The last time we had the President of the World thing. The Zygon story. This is almost the same. It's, we have to come to an agreement for the betterment of the world, but it might involve people dying, and it could be. And I've seen a GIF somewhere, and I think it's from a preview clip from this week's upcoming episode, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is a joke someone's put together. Yeah? But it's him on the plane. There are a couple of monks on the plane. There's the remaining army leaders who didn't get killed. And he's basically saying, sit down and Google, is what the doctor's saying to them. If that's real, that means he's referencing the sit down and talk stuff from that speech that they thought was oh so revolutionary.
Well, he says that in Pyramid at the end of the world now, though, doesn't it?
Was it just sit down and yeah, but I mean like that, and that much of a parallel of like, here's one side, here's the other. We've got everything we need. All we should have done all along: sit down and Google. It's like,
I don't think that's what it is.
I fucking hope it isn't, because if so, it's like, you cunts, skeleton warriors. So yeah, I'm at the end of my tether now. I'm like, you've lost me. You've got to get me. You've got to claw me back now. You had me, and now I'm like, oh, for God's sake. 2 weeks of this with a third one on the way. Also, I saw a visual point out today. I haven't seen Series 4 of Sherlock because I couldn't be arsed. But apparently his and Mycroft's sister is the villain. And in the last episode, there's entire Dark Knight / Skyfall-esque scenes of her in a glass case in the middle of the room, and they're talking to her through the glass case. Which is the exact setup for Missy in the next episode. She's playing a piano in a glass case in the middle of a room.
Of course she is.
Because, once again, Moffat does the same things. Ladies are all evil, wearing formal wear and talking in glass cases. La 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 la. I'm bored. I'm bored of him, and I want him to go. I want him to go. And I want Ed Russell to delete that tweet.
What a time
2005, maybe. 2013, definitely. Now, jog right on.
Luke!
No!
Says,
Hi, Luke.
no more Lucas this week, sorry. Hey, at BDC, it is I, Luke, the ginger one, remember? Good.
Oh, God.
Threatening.
What if you don't remember?
I have a few questions and I couldn't think of any answers. That's okay? That's why you're asking those.
That's fine. That's what questions do.
Do you recommend any John Hughes films? I'm a fan of 16 Candles, National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's European Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Vegas Vacation.
So basically the vacation movies.
Yeah, you like vacation movies.
Um,
Buck.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Breakfast Club. And Home Alone, because he wrote it.
And Home Alone. Yes.
So
Uncle
there we
Buck,
go.
man. Uncle Buck. Always Uncle Buck. Best John Hughes film. Also John Candy.
Yeah, also John Candy. That should be a new Mark Commode rating thing.
Yeah.
For retro
Also
movie
John
reviews.
Candy.
Also John Candy.
And Macaulay Culkin. Specify your favourite thing
Young and
about
fleshy.
each series of Doctor Who and spin-offs.
Summarise our favourite thing.
About each series? I think we might have to group them together.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them. Favourite thing about series 1 is Christopher Eccleston. Favourite thing about series 2 to 4 and the specials is David Tennant. Favourite thing about series 5 onwards is Matt Smith. Favourite thing about... Yeah. Favourite thing about Torchwood is Children of Earth. Favourite thing about Sarah Jane Adventures is Elizabeth Sladen. Favourite thing about... Yes, those were the only 2 Doctor Who spin-offs ever produced. There wasn't anything else, because those 2 shows were in a class of their own.
Speaking of Sarah Jane Adventures, while we're here, if you like Sarah Jane Adventures, and you want to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the show, there's a big
Doesn't like
celebration.
Sarah Jane Adventures.
Idiots! There's a big celebration going on in July in Cardiff. If you go to theattic.com, you can find out more information about that. It's for charity, so all the money you spend on your tickets is going to some very good causes. And you'll get to meet the Bannerman Road gang and a bunch of the actors who worked on the show. Katie Manning's going to be there as well, so you got a bit of Joe Grant in there, and some pillocks doing some of the Q&As. So come and check it out.
Yes,
but yes, meats. I think I pretty much agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah, on everything. Like that's.
I can't really get more specific than that.
Yeah.
Without doing, I don't know, maybe a series of videos or something. Not promising anything. But
yet
we might. How do you spell the Sazeen's home planet? I myself know.
Well, yeah, because anytime you see it written down, that's the spelling.
Raxacoricophalopaturus. REXICORICOPHALOPATURIUS. Raxacoricophalopaturus. Maybe.
No, I think it's ONTHEGOODSHIPLOLLYPOP. I think.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
CLON.
Yeah. That's it. The mighty Geografess of the Holy Hydrogesic Maxarodenfo. There you go. There, we've done a word thing. We've done it.
Finally, I was wondering whether I could interview Chris as the next guest on my podcast, since I am a listeners group with him presenting CBBC. And he's got some details there, so I'll leave you for that.
I'll have a gander. No promises, I'm afraid, at the moment, because I'm in a ridiculously busy schedule ahead of a couple of jobs trying to get all stuff crammed in. But I'll try my best, so I'll look over it, no worries.
Cheers. Bye. P.S. I don't think I was the right number of buys, I just kind of lost track then. P.S. Are any of you going to Collectomania on Saturday? I am not. Where's Collectomania this Saturday?
I think, wasn't that this weekend just gone, or is there one coming up this weekend?
This came in 3 days ago, so...
Is it Collectomania in Manchester, maybe?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I've not been to a con for a while. The last con I went to was London Film and Comic Con in 2000 and... I want to say 14? I had a horrible experience. It was just, like, the most unorganised mess in the world, and... getting ridiculously expensive to do everything and anything. I just kind of went, I don't want to do this anymore. And several years later, I'm feeling great about it. So it sort of sums it up, really. I think 2015 was the last one we went to. Whichever one Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox went to was the last one we went to.
Yeah.
I've been tempted to go to one of the Manchester ones on behalf of the Big Damn Nonsense to see if we could do something or other. But... you know, if we do, you'll be the first to know, obviously, because you're listening. Hey!
Well, I'll be the first to know, and then you'll find out.
No, that's how people find out information nowadays. They see it on the news and go, oh shit, that's me.
That's
how you get fired as an FBI director nowadays.
Fucking hell. Kofifi. The final email.
You know, that's what Bill Murray whispered into Scarlett Johansson's ear at the end of Lost in Translation.
From your friend and mine, Tom Monty. He says, Chris and Matt. Doctor Who. It had some appalling visuals, I must say. E.g., when the plane was coming down. And the episode does make me wonder if the previous episode will be at all relevant to the overall plot. I think if Extremis had been like a 5 to 10 minute prologue to this episode, it would have been more effective. And it looks like next week we'll be seeing the supposed regeneration that we saw in the Series 10 trailer, because in the Next Time trailer, the Doc is wearing similar clothes. Are you guys digging this 3-parter so far?
No, I'm hating it, to be honest.
No, I'm not sold. We'll see how the end goes. House of Cards is back for season 5 this week. Are you guys excited if you even watch it? I fell off around season 3 and I've just not got around to catching up yet. But
I have never seen a frame.
I like the show. I've just fallen behind and I need to catch up.
I like the free time I have from not watching the show.
It's good. It's really good.
I'll check it out at some point.
Who is your favourite character from Breaking Bad? Hank. Next question.
Yeah, by the end of the series, yeah, Hank.
Yeah.
That's a very good shout, actually. Yeah.
Oh, there are no more questions. Have a lovely week, Tom Monty. Oh, last second email.
What? Has that just appeared?
Just appeared in our
Holy
inbox.
shit biscuits!
Literally, it's 15:48 now. This email came in at 15:47.
What the balls?
Cannon Smallwood.
How does he know?
Wonder Woman was the dog's bollocks. Without the dogs. Ooh. Ooh. Cannon. Cannon, you rogue. You small wood.
Oh.
Cutting. Cutting.
Well, thanks for
Cutting the
joining
small
us,
wood.
you handsome swines. Have you seen Wonder Woman? What do you think about it? The comment section below. Oh, of course, you can email us, bigdamncontact@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Twitter at the Big Damn Cast, where you can tweet to us throughout the week for nonsense and bollocks. This weekend, we've got another Big Damn Love on Sundays. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And as well
now it's time for Cheats Corner.
No, it's not. No.
PlayStation 2.
No.
Cheats Corner.
No, it's not.
This week, we heard, we listened, and now we'll respond
No, that's
with
not
those hot codes
No.
for the X-Files. Resist or serve.
They did a video game?
Gameplay cheats.
Oh, Jesus.
Enter these cheats in the cheat option within game settings.
Well, I mean, that's just not fair if they call it cheat
Unlock
option.
all bonus features.
What, there's-
Left R1, L1, down, circle. Unlock all acts. R2 right, L2 up, square. One shot kills. Circle, L2 down,
that's just-
R2 X. Player invincible.
I mean, is the X-Files about
Up,
shooting
square,
things?
circle,
or-
X down. No, because Mulder always loses his gun.
Yes.
Grenade bullets.
Right.
Grenade
We
bullets
don't need
in your
this.
X-Files
We
game.
don't need these.
Is
please, no one-
X circle square L2
No one asked for
R2
these.
unlimited ammo.
Right, I mean, does anyone
Unlimited
does
ammo.
anyone own this game? Does anyone own it?
L1.
Did anyone own it at the
L2,
time?
X,
Please stop.
R2,
Please.
R1.
I don't want
You
this.
can break your copy of X-Files Resist or Serve wide open. Don't own the game. Own the game. Oh. That didn't work. Chris, what am I doing? Why do I keep doing this?
I don't know.
I think I need help.
Bye!